Good morning. My name is Tim Thompson, the Executive Director for TMAC. We have just finished our breakfast here for transportation priorities with our members. And we had some time here at the end that I could sit down with Scott Mullen here, Mully, to talk a little bit more about Lime and some of the initiatives and some of the things that he brought up. Mully, just so that folks that were not with us in the breakfast, what is your role?
How could they miss this breakfast?
I know.
This was amazing. No, it really was. I mean, it was a diverse group of folks coming at the future from many different angles. So I was thrilled to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So what is your role with Lime?
So I'm the Director of Expansion for the Northeast, and it's all about opening up new markets. In a lot of cases, it's about passing state legislation, specifically regarding scooters. We started as Lime Bike as a company 2.5 years ago with bicycles. We introduced e-bikes. Now we have e-scooters. Now the issue is most states haven't contemplated in their laws what an e-scooter is. And it's a light electric kick scooter, much like a Razor, with a motor on it. But most state laws have scooter. They believe it's a moped, which is sort of a sit-down, needs a registration, full helmet, that sort of stuff. And that's not what this is. So the work really begins here in Pennsylvania at the state level.
So I know that with the work that we do on the TDM side, we always talk about the curb space. And the second thing that we talk about is culture.
Yeah.
And so, part of your presentation, you talked about the culture of how people park their e-scooters. Can you just give me some of your input on managing that curb space? Because I personally feel that we undersell the curb space. I mean, at $1 an hour in most municipalities for parking on the street, that's a bargain.
Absolutely, and cities like San Francisco got way out ahead of this a few years ago and did dynamic pricing to see how that might change modal shift. If it costs you $7 to park at the curb for an hour, are you going to park there, or are you going to maybe find someplace cheaper, not come in with a car to that very dense neighborhood? So you're 100% spot on. Our public right-of-way is overwhelmingly built for the movement and storage of private vehicles and motor vehicles. And so until we rethink and incentivize different ways to get around, and it's not that cars are bad, it's that other modes and choices are good, right? And it really is, we have to think more balanced, because right now all we have is one thing, because that's all we've built for.
And one of the things that we talk about at TMAC is that we're fuel neutral. We know that there is a place for gas-powered and diesel vehicles, but we also know that there is also a place for CNG and electric vehicles. And I can imagine too that we should be transportation mode neutral. So there's a time and place for a car or a bus, but I think there's some great opportunities for e-bikes and especially scooters, especially in our downtown areas and our smaller communities.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, when we look at the stats, study after study comes out, and there was one just last week that Philadelphia, just to the east of here, 46% of the motor trips, the car trips in Philly, are 3 miles or less. Why are they in cars? And there's a lot of reasons for that. Maybe it's infrastructure. People don't feel safe riding a bike. Maybe there isn't a bike share station near where they're going, or they don't have, they're not set up for it. There's a lot of different reasons. But again, we need to sort of sit down with groups like TMAC, with companies like ours, with smart planners and businesses in the region, and say, what's the future that we want, right? And instead of sort of writing regulation to restrict what we don't want, let's have a vision, and let's say, what do we want this city and this region to look like in 5 years? That's what we should all be going towards, and it's a much more robust conversation, and a lot of what I heard in the room this morning.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for being with us. If somebody wanted to reach out and talk to you further about their community and opportunities with having this vision with you folks, how can they reach you?
You can get me directly, Mully, M-U-L-L-Y, at li.me. And if you're a region that I don't cover, I'm happy to pass you on to the GR rep for the region.
Great, Mully. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.